So anybody, how often are you in the field, and how does this affect your family life if you're in for long periods of time?
I feel like that's the question we discuss every time in the bar in Kiev.
Well, I spent a lot of time there. I'm a full-time, Ukraine correspondent for the Financial Times, so I'm almost always there. But you need a break because it is extremely intense, and when I am there, I am always on. I'm on call all the time. If something happens, I'm writing, or I'm reporting on it. I'm there covering it. And so my rotation, so to speak, it's kind of like an oil rig job. I'm out there for roughly 2 months, and then I come back here to New York and take a break for a few weeks. Sometimes I bring a bit of reporting with me, and I'll work on, say, a feature story or a magazine story or some editing or something while I'm here. From time to time, something will happen, and my editors will say, "Look, can you jump on this story for us? Or we know you've got a contact. Can you help us out with this story?" Even when I'm on break here at home. I am really devoted to my job, and it's really hard for me to switch off. And so I feel like I'm always working, even if I'm not there in the field. That has it's had an effect on me. I think on my family and my wife too, and I know that they worry about me, and there are times that it has been difficult, being home and trying to switch off and be present. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that. But it is something that I think I wasn't great at it before. I think now that I've been doing it for a lot longer, I've gotten better about doing that. And fortunately, I have an employer, the FT, that is really understanding, much more than any organization I've ever worked for, in giving me that space and time that I need to sort of unwind and detach from the intense work that I do when I come home to take a break.
Yeah, I just add, I have a daughter, 7 years old, so she was born during the war. The first couple of years of covering the war, 2014, 2015, so I look back on some of the risks that I took and the amount of time that I spent in Ukraine. I wouldn't do that now. So it really does change the calculation having a child. So 2022, I was gone. I was away from home reporting in Ukraine for about 6 months of the year, if you add it all up. That was a big strain on my family, and I've sort of reduced the trips. I try to keep them as tight as possible, but that, as Chris alluded to, makes them much more intense. So when you are there and you say, okay, I need to get back to my family as soon as reasonable, that means every hour, every moment that you're in the country, you're trying to maximize that with interviews, with trips, with whatever you can get to report, to contribute to your stories. But yeah, also just the risk calculation is different. It changes, the bigger your family.
I'm not the best person to answer that question, so I'm gonna pass.
That was Sasha's way of saying he's a bachelor and available.
You can find him on Instagram.
Hi, I first want